Ginette Mailloux, welcome.
Thank you, Jeff.
First of all, did I say your name right?
I think you did. It was pretty good.
Mailloux, okay, I tried. I
Mailloux.
practiced.
Yeah.
Practiced a
I
lot.
think it's pretty good, actually.
We're here at the Ardest Gallery where you can find Ginette's work. And I want to talk about the first time I saw your work here at the Ardest Gallery. It was quite a while ago. It was a piece, a part of the Revival series, which you did.
Okay.
And there were these small works, and when I started looking at them, I saw a lot of different things. To me, they looked like mini landscapes or vignettes of architecture, and they were done in multiple layers. They were perfectly placed with a lot of intention, and there was a lot of detail on every little layer of the work. And we'll show pictures here so people know what we're talking about. I just got lost in them. And at the time, I was helping Julie out by doing some shifts here at the gallery. And I just kept going in there and looking at those things. And in my mind, I started to create these wild worlds where they existed. And I guess my first thing that I want to discuss with you was that what you were intending when you made those?
I rarely have intention when I start something except transformation.
Okay.
I love the idea of transformation, progress, like discovering new things. So I just go on and on. Whatever step I take takes me to the next step. I never know where I'm going with it. But so it takes a long time. And by the way, all of this work was mostly done during the night. Well, I can't sleep, would get up, go to my studio. This is why I like having my studio in my place, because that's how I work a lot.
Okay. So you like wake up in the middle of the night and start working on things? Is that how?
Yeah, either this or I cannot fall asleep altogether, and then I just might as well just go work, So, and I live by myself, so that's pretty easy.
Okay. So another thing that I don't understand is I don't know what you're doing. I don't know how you're doing it. I don't know. At some point, I thought you were a digital artist. Am I correct to say that?
Well, I think of digital mostly as animation stuff, but I do use my computer. I use Photoshop, but it's as a tool. I don't consider myself digital artist at all. It's just like, one day it can be a paintbrush, sandpaper, computer, whatever helps me get things together. Photography, I take a lot of pictures of images.
Okay. So in that regard, it's more like mixed media. Would you say that?
Right, yeah, with a little bit of the vibes of conceptual work, because the idea behind what I do is present. It just doesn't show. You can't tell, but it's always progress that gets me going.
Progress.
Like, where am I going with this? What's going to happen? The surprise.
Right.
Of putting pieces together and colors together. And
yeah, so that's another thing. I would describe your work as it's color, it's geometry, it's fractals, layers, hidden meanings. It's doodling to me. I'm a doodler. I see people's doodles all the time. It's wonder, it's universe creation. Sometimes it reminds me of like under a microscope, like what you might see in the there you go, like this one exactly. And yeah, I mean, it takes me, see like this fractal idea of it. And in all that, I feel like there's beauty, there's invitation. It gives me a sense of calm. And I'm always curious, is that what the artist is going for, or is that just the result of the discipline?
I think it's all of this, because we are who we are. I've seen like work, put something that I've done in painting next to something that I've done digital, and they look alike. So we are who we are, and eventually we find our way to what's inside. I think we're all unique. And but everything that you've described, I was like, yeah. This is, I like Zen stuff. I like calm, but I also like excitement and discovering and transforming, and so.
Yeah, I feel like your work invites people to create worlds in their mind. That's what it does for me. So for that Revival series, for example, I saw landscapes, and I've admitted this before on this program that I don't normally go to landscapes. That's not my thing, unless it's abstracted, unless it's like conceptual, unless it's different. And I definitely felt that with those pieces, because there was like a layer of depth too that I don't normally see, because it seems like there was multiple layers there, right? You're using physical objects. I'm not exactly sure what you're doing, if you're mounting it on paper, or if it's on wood or tile.
Well, you want to know?
Sure, we'd love to know, yeah.
So the Revival series, it's called Revival for a reason.
Okay.
It's a multi-generational project. I had some old, before they sold cradles in stores, I made them, but I had to, have the wood cut, put them together. And I had these old cradles that I tried to work on and kept thinking, I should throw these away, And I didn't want to. So one day I decided to just like strip everything, that I had on them, and get all the work that I had from other works that I didn't use, pieces. And I started building those cradle up. And again, this was all done during the night mostly. And I would rip pieces off and glue something, a lot of collage happening. So they ended up being, there was a series that I've never shown here still, but the Revival is 1 to 10, there's 10 cradles. But all the pieces that I removed from them, I didn't want to throw them away because they were kind of cool, like this messy stuff.
Yeah.
So, but what I did before I started, and this is called, what you're describing is called offspring, by the way.
Okay.
They're offsprings of the Revivals.
Of older, okay.
So before I put them together, I took pictures of every piece. I have like tons of photographs of these pieces on my computer. And then I built some digital work from that. I don't know if you've seen the kimono series.
Yeah.
Well, the kimono comes from some of those pieces that I photographed. So it's like the Revival, the Offspring, and then, other series that have and will come from this.
So it's like multi-generational artwork.
Yes,
I love that. I love that it's, a lot of artists are like this, where they never throw anything away, right? They kind of just keep the scraps aside because you never know when you might need something.
I hate throwing anything away because from a little piece, someday I can just take a picture of this and make a really great work,
I think that's probably one of the reasons why I like your work so much, is I like that multi-generational aspect to it, because I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, and VHS tapes and cassette tapes were really popular then. And, you'd have one cassette tape and you record over it 1,000,000 times to the point where the sound got warpy. And the same with VHS. You would get like the weird tracking lines on your video, and it had this like nostalgia feel to it. And I see that in your artwork. I see like a nostalgia, and I know I'm probably that's just my reaction to it, but I love that. I love that you're reusing artworks. They're getting second lives, third lives even, right?
Yeah, and that could be just the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, I never know where I'm going.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not crazy about representational work. I've never done it. I've never done landscapes.
Okay.
Because I want the surprise. I want the future. I want to invent.
Yeah.
Fabricate. All of this.
Yeah.
That's what gets me.
I see it. I see that, and I love it. I love that idea. I want to go back to something you said just a minute ago, because I had read earlier that you describe your work as a beacon of progress. And you mentioned the progress. Right. So explain that a little bit. What do you mean by that in terms of big picture or beacon of progress?
Let's think about the newspaper series.
Yeah, please tell us
newspaper.
About that.
I found this newspaper, when they throw the newspaper in your driveway, there was a storm. and it was all messy, and I was going to throw it in the garbage, and I was like, oh my God, this thing is gorgeous. What can I do with it? So, you know, after a few years of trying to figure it out, and this, by the way, is what got me into digital.
Okay.
Because there was no way that I could paint this, that I could make more of it. You know, there was one. That was the source. That was the beginning. But where do I go with this? So it's been a journey. And now I have like so many projects and series that came from that object. So it's progress. And I, one day I was like, you know, I was thinking of a title for the whole project, and I called it Endless Effect of One Lost Cause.
Okay.
And to me, it's inspirational. That's kind of the meaning that you don't see in my work unless, you know, I describe it. It's like if we put our minds to it, and if we go with the journey, it's unbelievable what we can create, what we can correct, what, you know, so I think that's the beauty of being an artist. And this is also why it's the best career in life, because you don't retire from this.
Right.
You know, the more you go, the more you want to create. And, you know, so I'm never bored. Ever, ever, ever bored.
Good. Right.
So
That's awesome. I love that. You said the lost cause would be that newspaper then, right?
Right.
Okay. And then the progress from that is that it's always getting better, right? It's not, you know, all the works are just an amalgamation of that. They're a continuation of that.
yeah, and it's not symbolic. It's actually I'm going to try that word in English. Attestation, like a witness, like
Okay.
you know, the work are a proof that if you take that a route of progress, of finding out. I mean, it's the proof. It's not a symbol.
Right.
You know, that new object is there.
Right. And that's it. I
Right.
mean, that newspaper, is that what you brought in here today?
Yes,
yeah.
I did.
You showed me that. We'll show a picture of it here. But it's a work of art itself, right? It's nature. It's a lot of people would look at that and say, it's garbage.
Yeah.
But
which I was going to throw away.
Yeah.
I was going to throw it away.
Right.
What a waste. You know, I've been working on this now for more than 20 years.
Yeah.
And it inspired me to do other series,
Right.
you know, with the same vibes.
So you've been carrying that old ragged newspaper around for the last 20 years then?
Yeah, oh yeah. And
Amen.
it
I
actually
love it.
took me 7 years to get my first images out.
Oh,
The one that are in the hallway.
Yeah.
Those were my first images.
Oh, cool.
It took me 7 years to make it to this. What do I do with this
Wow.
thing? You know.
That's dedication. And also think about, sometimes I wonder, like, you know, the butterfly effect. If I would have done this, how different would the world be now in my, you know, point of view? And had you not kept that newspaper, who knows?
Right. You know, hopefully people have seen it that I'll never know about it. And it, you know, it did something to them. It inspired them to do something with what you think is not worth paying attention to.
Yeah. I think about how many hours I wouldn't have spent looking at your pieces in the small room over there, you know?
Joe, I didn't know.
Yeah.
My God, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Because this makes the difference for me.
For
you know?
sure. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I started this whole project in the first place, is because I love art that stops me and makes me be present and ask questions. And yours does that, for sure. And I've looked at it a lot, but we've never really had a good conversation about it. So here we are.
Yeah,
Right?
that's great. I'm glad you did that. Yeah.
Thank you. I wanted to ask you something too. I saw your bio said that you studied art at a time when politics were the driving force and that aesthetics were out. And to that you said, as much as I agree that art should be more than a mere object of decoration, I didn't see how building on misery could help anyone.
Whoa, where did you find
I
this?
found that on your website.
Oh,
I
wow.
did,
I
yeah, I
haven't
did a
been
little.
into that section, but
Yeah.
I guess I don't need to rewrite it
You
because
don't, yeah, it was
that's still
perfect.
valid.
But that hit me. That really hit me.
Okay.
And so I wanted you to unpack that a little bit because you're right. Like so much of the art world is this darkness and this rah and rrr. And with yours, I don't see that at all. I see color and life and exploration and all the things I mentioned earlier. So could you unpack that a little bit? How you don't see how building on misery could help anyone?
Yeah, and I remember this day, and you know, I was in class, and I never spoke in class. I mean, I'm talking in my 20s. I already had 2 kids, so I'm not talking young. And I dared to say something about beauty, and this guy just like wham, he attacked me. It was like vicious. I was like, well, I'm sorry if I like beauty, you know,
Right.
but that's the thing. Is like, I don't know. Always talking about drama, and I don't like drama. Drama is part of our life. We can't avoid it. But
Right.
there's been enough drama in my life. I just want to enjoy myself, and I want to be joyful and peaceful and zen, and I don't need a lot to be, you know, like in peace. So yeah, basically that's what it is. And all this political work, oh my God, you know, it's like
Yeah.
politics is politics, art is art. I mean, you know, it's like
Yeah, you know, art doesn't have to make a political statement. Sometimes it
it
might,
can,
but
it can. That's okay, but I don't have to make a political
yeah.
statement. Actually, I am making a political statement, but by saying that I can transform something that was destined to go into the garbage.
Right.
Right there, I am making a political statement,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, for sure. And
But
especially the newspaper being the catalyst for it all.
yeah,
Right? Where we get most of our, or
Right.
used to at least,
news.
get our news, all of
Yeah.
our politics, all of our opinions. Yeah,
Yep.
that's cool.
So
Yeah, I think the world needs more beauty, less angst, right?
yeah, I know we can avoid it sometimes, but and I think that the older I get, the more ways I have to make myself be happy, and art is something that I think everybody should do. Everybody should dance, sing, and create art.
Amen. Let's go. But not right now. I'm not going to do it right now. I'll do part of it. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
About that. Yeah, there's inherent beauty in all your work. And another piece that really got me, in fact, it was a big one similar to this, actually a little bit bigger than this. Because a lot of times you work small, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But it was a big one, and it was part of your Circa series. And it was part of the monochrome show that was here.
Okay.
You remember the black and white? And it had like a bunch of little interlocking doodles in the middle, and it had like all kinds of cool shapes. And I felt like there was a message in there, and I kept looking for it and looking and looking and looking. And it was one of those pieces that, you know, stops me and makes me be here right now. And I just wanted you to talk a little bit about that. What was the process, or what was going through your mind, if anything? You said you don't have intentions a lot of the time, right?
No, I don't
Okay.
have. Well, I mean, there's always, I think, intention in our personality that come out, but it's not a definite intention. But all the black and white, Circa, it didn't work in color.
Okay.
That series doesn't work in color. I've tried, it just didn't work. But you know how this came about was a few years ago, Julie had a show. It was a black and white show. And I created some work for that. I don't remember if it was accepted or not, but it sent me on that black and white path. And I just started creating, like cutting stuff up, and you know, like it just like, again, just went with it, you know, and I have like maybe 5 or 6 of the large one. They're actually the same size.
Is it the same size?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
21, because my printer prints 24.
Oh,
So I
okay.
go as large as I can.
Oh, okay.
But you know, it's on my computer, and one day I'll just feel like going back to that series, and I'll just keep creating images from that series. Because I like colors, but I like the classic black and white.
Yeah, there's.
I was like a little black dress girl for a long, long time.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I really love black and white too. If I'm being honest, it's just there's a vibe that you get from it that's just fits always. It's always in style. It's always cool. You know.
It's classic. It's
Classic, yeah.
classy. It's just
Yeah, yeah, and that piece. What did you use to make it? Was it? Did you draw stuff on there, or
no,
did
I
you
don't
use a
draw,
stylus?
and I never like for instance this. I never add colors.
Okay.
But when you work with Photoshop, there's so many things that you can do. Honestly, I don't really remember because there's so many steps to a work like this.
Yeah.
You know, it looks simple. It's like you look at Cirque du Soleil. You know, it looks so easy.
Right.
I think I could do this.
Yeah, right.
You know, but I think art is like this a lot. So there's been so many transformations to create those works that I'm not sure where I started. I guess if I was in front of my computer and I looked at my folder, I could give you an answer. But right now, I can't.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
Do you?
So am I.
Right.
So am
right.
I.
Yeah,
How
and
did I
also
do this?
when you're working in Photoshop, like I know from experience that there's so many steps to make one thing look a certain way. Who knows? Like how would you give a report on what you did? Do you use certain programs, or is it just Photoshop?
Just Photoshop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean,
and you're just manipulating images. Where do you draw your source images? Do you use like?
Well, Circa actually is the newspaper series.
Oh, okay. So it's images of the newspaper itself?
From the newspaper. It's a detail somewhere that I thought was cool, and then I apply filters, and then something happened, and then, I combine it with something else. Now I'm getting into mixed series because I don't remember what's newspaper series, what's revival series. This series is from draft paper. You know the draft paper that we use for geometry? One day I decided, I wonder what it would look like if I scan one of those. I put in my desktop scanner. I was like, this is kind of cool. So I started creating images from that. And
So you get source images. So you take pictures of things, or you scan things like you just mentioned. So you're getting your sources from all over the place. Is there?
Well, there's not that many places, surprisingly.
Okay.
So there's the newspaper. There was the revival series. There's the draft. And that's pretty much it right now.
Okay. So does the series? I know you work in series quite often.
Yes.
Are they designated by the source images, or are they designated by a feeling, or how do you decide what the series is going to be?
A visual.
Okay.
So I start building some images. Like from this series, I may have like 7 or 5 that are finished, but I have hundreds on my computer that someday might end up somewhere. If and I abandon them. I don't abandon them, but I move on to something else.
Right.
So.
But you could always come back.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've tried enough times. I get tired of them, and I want to empty my computer because So I start deleting stuff that you're not going to work for me.
Okay.
But yeah.
Wow.
So.
That's cool.
I lost your question.
I was talking about the series. How do you come up with the series? But you mentioned you answered that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
I want to talk to you too about the size, because I noticed a lot of your work. Now this one we're sitting in front of is larger, but I kind of knew you as being someone who does a lot of small works, and not only are they small, but you have impeccable taste in framing. Like your frames are just perfect for the work itself.
Thank you.
Yeah. So can you
I
talk about that?
appreciate it.
Because a lot of people, you're the first person I've talked to about their framing, and I just want to
I
give
think, you know, as much as I hate to spend money for frame because they do cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think frame is very, very important. The way you present it. And you know, I had a friend tell me, "Oh, you put too much space around your image." I'm like, "No, I don't."
Yeah.
And I was in a super gallery store in Austin, and I took some pictures, and I was like, I'm going to send this to her so that she understand. I mean, there were small images in huge frames.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people suffocate the work in smaller frames. I know they cost a lot of money, but I wanted the work to have its space, you know?
You know what it reminds me of? You know, the real high-end galleries or the high-end museums, you know, it's a huge, massive white wall with a little bit of painting in the middle. That's what it is to me. So you're like highlighting this piece. You're like, hey, look at me and give me all of your attention. That's what it says to me.
Yeah.
And it works because it does pull me in. It's almost always white frames too. It seems like white, at least matting around the outside.
I've never, I mean, those, when you go to art school, you know, that's one of the first things they tell you. This is like decorative, you know, like you just get white frames. It's the work. It's not the, you know, the matte, the colored matte.
Yeah.
These are, and I don't think that you see them as much now.
Okay, that's cool. I'm glad to get your take on that because it does add a lot to the work itself. And you also just mentioned that art school. So you went to art school, and
Yes.
are you from Quebec? Is that correct?
I'm from Montreal.
Montreal,
so,
okay.
Which is Quebec.
Okay.
So I started art school. I did draw when I was younger, but you know, after I had my two first kids, I just wanted to do something. I wanted to do architecture, but I couldn't be accepted. So I went to Montreal, Concordia English University in Montreal, started there. Then we moved to Quebec City. So I switched university. I went to Laval, which I learned later on that was like really high. I was like, oh yeah, I went there.
Okay.
But it was fun, different culture completely. And then we came back to Montreal. So I decided to finish my degree in a French university. So I went through 3 art school, so which is kind of nice. It gives you different perspectives.
Yeah. Did they have massively different views?
I wouldn't say massive. No. And I did a lot of printmaking. That was my thing. I'm not. I don't like paint that much. I like printmaking because of the ink on the paper.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's what I like. So I've done that in 3 places, and I've also taken some side workshops, you know, that were not offered in the university.
Okay, cool. And so with the ink, with the printing, is there a certain type of ink that you like to use, or?
Well, I did etching.
Etching, okay.
So, you know, it's a specific ink that you use for etching. And then I did serigraph. Then that's another kind of a completely different process. And I had to stop because when I moved here, I wanted to go back to this. But it's not obvious. You don't have a press available to you. When you go to school, you have the press that you can use. But here, you know, so that's kind of how the shift happened. Also, I lived before I moved here, I lived in Quebec City Mexico City for 2 years.
Oh, right, okay.
And while we were waiting for our apartment, we had to live at the hotel. So I left Montreal having my garage, pinning huge canvas on the wall. And I went to Soho, by the way.
Oh.
I went a show in Soho at that time.
Okay.
So then, you know, we moved to Mexico City. I had a toddler, new baby. And I was like, what do I do now? I can paint. I can do printmaking. I started writing. But one day I was like, that's it. I went to the art supply store, and I bought a bunch of cheap paint, cheap canvas. And in my hotel room, did I say 4 months I lived there? I started collaging from magazines, newspaper collaging. I had to hide everything when, they would come into the room. But I did.
Don't throw it away.
It's like, oh, I have to hide it.
Yeah.
Like really very nice hotel. I did not want them to know that I used their cups and saucers to mix my paint.
Yeah.
So and that gave me a different directions. Working big size and then having to, small size, and then a few other circumstances in my life that allowed me to go bigger and then back to the small because I have no space. This is what I have, but you get creative.
So is that what took? I'm sorry, but is that what took you or keeps you coming back to the small works?
I guess.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. I still dream of someday having a big studio and having canvas all over the place and throwing paint all over the place.
Right.
I don't know that I would be happier than working on small sizes. I probably,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, I think it's good to work on all of the sizes.
Yeah, it seems like yours are real uniform in size. I don't know what size they are. Maybe 6x6, 4x4. I don't know. Maybe the frames are that big. The pieces themselves are even smaller.
Well, I have like pieces, like those little tiny pieces, 2x2. You know what those are? They're
Tiles,
like
right?
cut out. Well, yeah. One of my friends called them tiles, so I said the tile collection.
Okay.
But those are little test runs that I would do for my bigger work. Okay. And it was just like, they're a world in themselves. I mean, they're just like little paintings. So I didn't want to throw them away again.
Right.
So it's making something out of something that was going to be thrown away.
Right.
That was just like, oh no, you're too cute. You're staying with me.
You're going to live forever.
Yeah.
You're going to be revived.
Yes.
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 You're going to continue. Awesome. Yeah, the power of transformation, man. Just
Yes.
keep coming.
Right.
Yeah. That's cool. So we talked about you getting that inspiration, or at least your move to work late at night. Is that correct? What is it that gets you to move and to create? Is it just a feeling you have, or do you have an idea of something you want to see? Or is it just the act of playing and creating and seeing what happens?
Yeah. I never have an idea of what I want to see.
Okay.
Never.
So what moves you, what says, okay, Ginette, let's get up, let's go do something, let's go make something?
Well, if I'm working on a project already and I can't sleep because I'm thinking, oh, maybe I could try this or maybe I could try that. And I remember, so when I was younger, I drew and I wanted to create, but I felt like I lacked imagination because I didn't know what to do. And eventually, I realized that my imagination was limiting me. If I rely on my imagination alone, no matter how wild it can be, I think it's limiting. Because there's a whole world outside of this.
Yeah.
That if you only, rely on this, you're not going to find the rest out. It's like, oh, I'll live in this place. I'm happy here. Okay, fine. But do you have any idea what Europe looks like?
Yeah.
Or Asia, or so it's kind of that spirit.
So it's that curiosity, that wanting to see what's on the other side, right?
Right.
Cool. And I can see that too, because your work does, like I said, it makes me invent worlds based on what I see. Who knows? A lot of times I see it like a top-down of a map or something. Like this kind of reminds me of old European streets, And who knows what this thing is in the middle that everyone's going towards.
Yeah, it's just, it's a world.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was actually listening to a reel this week. And I was like, yeah, this is it. you know, like representation, abstract and representation, abstract and non-representation. Like you see a landscape, you see a flower, you see these things are more abstract than this. Because this is not an interpretation of anything. This is this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I didn't come up with this.
Yeah, that's getting deep.
Yeah, it is, but it's going back to Kandinsky and the people that wrote about. Now we're talking like you know, like a long time ago.
Abstract.
The invention of I don't know if it's an invention.
He was the first big one.
Acknowledging that you can do something without an object. But basically, he didn't want to call his work abstract.
Right.
He wanted concrete. To me, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah, I always often wonder what he'd think of our interpretation of what he started. Would he approve? Would he scratch his head? Would he care at all? I don't know. Something that I think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to meet him someday.
Yeah. I don't know. Awesome. Well, Ginette, I wanna ask you some rapid fire questions.
Yeah.
No one leaves here without the rapid fire questions.
I think they're cool.
This helps give us a little idea of who you are as a person and your idiosyncrasies, all that stuff. Gives us a little window into you. Now these are short answers, right? I'll give you option, one or the other usually. And both is not an answer. Everybody
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, let's see what we can do here. All right, so the first one is coffee or tea?
Coffee.
All right. Red or blue?
Blue.
Okay. Big or small?
Big.
Big. All right. Okay, so you're from Quebec. I have to ask you this. Nordiques or Canadiens?
Oh, no, les Canadiens.
Sorry. Sorry. All of our hockey fans will know what I'm talking about. All right. Up early or up late?
Up late.
All right. Otherwise, how are you going to get your work done?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I am, I sleep in the morning.
Right on. Okay. So trust your eye or trust your gut?
Oh, whoa, that's a tough one.
Eye. Okay.
Like,
Cool. All
I
right.
don't know if it's the right answer, but
That's all right. There's no right or wrong. It's just a window into your soul. That's all. Mac or PC?
That's also very hard. I have a PC,
Okay. Right on.
but I have an iPhone.
Okay.
So
Well, most people do have an iPhone.
my son builds my computers.
Okay.
So he's total PC.
Right on. Cool. All right. Up close or far away?
Up close.
Art that whispers or art that shouts?
Whispers.
All right. I like it. Okay. Beauty or truth?
Truth.
Amen. Plan or no plan?
No plan.
All right. I like that. Right? Your whole work is revolving around no plan. So
Right,
that's
exactly.
awesome. Long walk or long drive?
Drive.
Okay. Since you're an international traveler, Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Fahrenheit.
Okay, good answer.
Good. Well, yeah, because my friend from Montreal never understand when we talk about this.
Yeah. I know. I lived overseas for a while, and I just could never get the hang of Celsius. It's not in me. Create with music or no music?
No music.
No music. I think you're the first person to say that.
Okay. Well,
right.
and I have an explanation.
Oh, please.
If I put music on, I will never work. I will dance.
Oh, awesome. Right on. Well, you did say everyone needs to dance, sing,
Yes. I
and
can't-
create.
Yeah, I can't help myself.
Just not at the same time, right?
Exactly.
Okay, cool. All right, and then the last one here, I'm curious as to your process. One artwork at a time or many at a time?
Many.
Many, okay.
Yeah.
So you got lots of projects open and just kind of
Yes.
bouncing back and forth?
Right.
on.
Everywhere.
I think that's how most artists work, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
With our TikTok brains, can't focus. That's awesome. Awesome. Ginette, well, thank you so much for coming and being a
So
part of this.
much.
I
That
want
was so fun.
Yeah, I know. And we should do it again sometime.
Wow, it went so fast.
Yeah, I know. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do want to invite everybody to follow you on Instagram, so I'm going to put your information up here.
Okay.
It's Ginette Mailloux Art, and your website is Ginette Mailloux, and I'll put it up there so everyone can spell it correctly, right? Because I know a lot of people don't speak French, so you may not be able to figure out there's an X in there somewhere. And then also you can find your work here at the Ardest Gallery in the Woodlands. Come by, make some of Ginette's work your own. Take it home with you. Support local artists. We all love that, don't we?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Please.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you, Ginette. Let's do it again sometime.
Okay. Okay.
And we'll see you later.
Thank you.
Peace.